Hi, I'm Mike Kennedy, Water Connection. What are dip tubes used for? Dip tubes are installed on the cold side of your water heater, and they drive cold water down so the water displaces the hot back to the top for use in the house. There's two types of dip tubes. One has a nipple attached to the dip tube. The other one has a flare, and that sits on an overlay of well built into the tank to support it. Then a nipple is attached so you can make a connection to the tank. That nipple holds that dip tube in place. I'm going to show you a better mousetrap, one that will deliver more hot water for use, one that's going to give you a self-cleaning feature that's going to swirl the water up and out and move that hard mineral molecule before it's heated and settles to the bottom where it's harder to get out of the tank. And one, if coupled with a new ball valve, will give you a superior flush. Now, the tube is longer, as you can see. It's longer than the conventional tube. It's going to give you better displacement, has a curve built into it on the bottom. Okay, so if you couple this tube with an easy way to remove water out of the bottom, so now you're removing the hard mineral deposits off the bottom and out the bottom by having an opening as large as the dip tube opening. This is what the manufacturer installs. You can see that opening. It's a 1/4 inch if you're lucky. This one has about 8 times the opening. So this is going to do a better job. This one you have to turn several times to get the water out. This one you turn a 1/4 turn, boom, you got instant pressure. Okay, now if you want to learn more about removing the existing valve and putting in an updated valve, go to our blog. It's on water heater drain valves and click on the video. Now, I'm here to show you how to put a dip tube in. Let's get started. First, turn off the gas water heater, put it to pilot. If you have an electric water heater, turn that off. Turn the water off, which I've already done. Now we're going to release the pressure from the bottom of the water heater. Just take a screwdriver. This particular valve has a screwdriver slot. And just take the water out till you know the pressure is off and it dissipates. And that's good. Now we can turn it off. We're going to disconnect the connector. These flex connectors are nice for any time you're doing future maintenance. You're in an area with earthquakes, gives flexibility. You need to change the water heater out. You can see here I built in a heat trap, best heat trap you can buy, 6 inches up, 6 inches down, 6 inches up. Buy them in a 24 inch. If you want to change out to flex connectors, and I highly recommend it because there is a thing called turbo flush that's going to require you to turn that dip tube, that new dip tube, 360 degrees. This is a shark bite fitting. Okay, it has a connector to connect the flex. This is a CPVC adapter, goes to flex. So whatever piping you have, you can adapt these. Now, one thing that I want to show you, if you run into a water heater, has a really difficult fitting to take out on the cold side to get to that dip tube. Take an extension, either 6 inch, 3 inch, but it's a 1/2 inch drive extension. Drop it inside that nipple. Now, you're going to take your side jaws. These are really good because these get into tight places. Find yourself a breaker bar. You can make it out of copper. It could be a piece of steel pipe. Put it over the end. Now you can really apply some pressure and you won't collapse that nipple because the stiffener's in there. So a little trick. Remove the nipple, and best way to get a dip tube out, have a little light up here. I've got a little light here shining down so I can see what I'm doing. Take a screwdriver. You're going to dig it into the edge. Make sure all the dirt is off the top of that flare to make it easier to get out. And there may even be a little O-ring in there, like a rubber O-ring that you have to dig out before you can get to the dip tube. But just simply dig it in. As you dig in, you'll put a pull up and out. I get this. Should be easier than that, right? There we go. Okay, now, so get the dip tube out. We're gonna prep this. And basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the Teflon on the same way that it goes into the threads. So whatever way that goes into the threads, put the Teflon on the same direction. Same with the fitting. I'm going to put it on the way the fitting goes on. I'm going to put 2 wraps. Best way to seal is to put some Teflon paste as an added benefit. Why? Because when a tank heats up, it locks fittings down. And if you do this, you'll be able to get that out much easier. Now, secondly, we're going to point the curve away from us. Okay, and that is going to tell me, I want the curve looking opposite of me, looking at the background. How do I know that when I put it in? I'm going to mark that tube with a mark. I'm now going to put the tube inside the tank, and I'm going to lock it down. And when I do, I'm going to have that curve looking at the background at around 11 to 1. That mark is going to signify that for me. And there I am. I'm going to hook up the connector, tighten it down. I'm going to turn the water on. I'm going to go in the house. I'm going to open up a hot tab. I'm going to purge the air out. I'm going to now come back, turn my water heater back on, either be electric or gas. Now, if you want to see a full video on how to replace this and the flush valve and in a more concentrated presentation, go to Best Water Heater Flush, period. You can go to our library on our website, click it on, and it'll take you into the video. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time. Thank you.